Just wanted to put a little insert on this video. After I put the vehicle back together again, it was right. Look at that squirrel. He's just looking at us. They saw him. He was just looking at us. It's crazy. Hey man, what's up? You see that squirrely whirly, Ace? There he is again. There he is, Ace. Wait, there's a squirrely whirly. Yes, we see you, man. Yeah, squirrely whirly. You're gonna jump on the truck. Ace, you leave them squirrels alone. Right when I taped up that coil pack, just to explain a little bit, taped up that coil pack so the spark would not hit the motor, just trying to eliminate that variable. You know, is it the coil? Is that why it's misfiring, or do I have another issue? So that's why I taped it up. The engine didn't change, and whenever you get a 2-cylinder or 3-cylinder misfire, the chances are slim, especially when it's like that it's just the spark plugs, you know, 3 spark plugs failed or 3 coil packs failed all at the same time. The likelihood of that is rare. There's usually something else going on that's knocking out 2, 3, 4 components at the same time, spark plugs or coils or wires, or you know what I'm saying. So and that's why I want to verify by taping up the coil, sticking it back in the hole. If it changes the way the engine's running, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go for an ignition problem, a firing issue, bad coils. You know, I'm going to go that direction. If the motor ran better after I taped up that coil and stuck it back in the hole and started it up, no change. So then I'm thinking around, and I said, well, hell, I could say maybe the motor or something snapped in the motor. I don't know. So I said, well, just to be on the safe side, let me go ahead and do a compression test. I had 180 psi. So compression wasn't the problem. So, and then I started thinking, I said, okay, it's got to be a wiring issue, or we have bad injectors all at the same time, which probably not what happened. Hey, it's probably, he's on a leash, I just don't have it in my hand. Or all the injectors went out at the same time, which the chances of that is pretty damn rare. You know, that 2 or more than 2 are going to go down at the same time, unless you have an electrical issue. So that's when I started thinking about the mouse and the wiring. So I started looking around, and bam, and there I saw it. Let's go ahead and do this little video, and I'm probably going to end up going to work today. I'm just letting you guys know that the phone's going to ring, and you're going to be talking the right shit on the phone, and I'm going to say, okay, man, where you at? And that job for Sunday, just stow it away. One of those jobs, you take all that money that you made on that job and you put it away. And every Sunday, you sacrifice and put that money away. You just worked for nothing. You worked for a savings. And you take that money and you put it away. In a couple months, a year, man, you'll have a lot of money in there, and your options and your opportunities will come at you, and you'll be ready because you got the money. Sacrifice. Practice your sacrificing. practice sacrifice. I know a lot of people say, I'm sacrificing, You'll understand why I say that when you become self-employed and you've done sacrifice after sacrifice after sacrifice, and so many sacrifices, and you'll begin to understand why sacrificing is important. It's hard to tell a normal person about sacrifice. Man, you gotta sacrifice. And they get their feelings hurt. Man, sacrifice, I'm doing that, and then, you know, you hear a bunch of excuses. So, but once you start practicing sacrifice, it's gonna be clear to you, and it's gonna click. So, yeah, don't get all in your feelings. Sacrifice is a good thing. So anyways, let's go take this, let's get this exercise in, and we'll talk some more. And if you want to go ahead and do a tune-up when you're 60,000 miles from even needing a tune-up, on a guess, you're 60,000 miles, you're years away from needing a tune-up, because you just got done one, you just got a tune-up done last year, so to speak. So yeah, change all the plugs, man. We're gonna get one of those son of bitches wrong. One of those son of bitches is misfiring. Hell, why you at it, change the coil packs. I see people like that all the time. All the time. And you know what I say? I ain't doing it. I said, no, I'm not doing it for you. You can find someone else to do it for you. Yeah, the money's good. It ain't about the money. I'm not doing that for you. So feel free to go search for another mobile mechanic or take it to the shop. And we're going to find the problem, and then I'll give you the option after we find the problem to get all of it done. Because it may not, 80% of the time, the customers are usually wrong about what their assumption. 80% of the time, that's huge. Hey, he's coming to put on a starter. Hey, he's gonna put on an alternator. It's not even the starter or the alternator. 80%, that is a huge number, y'all. And that is another reason why I do the things I do. I know my value out here. I've seen it over and over again, even when I was hard-headed in the very early years of this. I was seeing my worth out there, but I didn't know if people would pay that money or not. You know, I'm trying to compete with the shop prices, and you're trying to stay lower than the shop prices. That is what I want you guys to understand is dollars an hour. The dollar an hour scale is a slavery scale. That's how they pay the slaves, by dollars per hour. That's the slavery scale. $10 an hour. You're worth $20 an hour. You're worth $50 an hour. I know a lot of people that are worth more than $50 an hour, and they're still punching clocks. I know lots of them, but they don't get out there and take the leap of faith and do it. It's just like the slavery days. Let's bring it back, a better analogy. We can bring it back to 400 or 500 years ago when they had slaves. You know, I don't know if anyone's seen that movie Roots, but Kunta was tired of being a slave. So Kunta jumped the fence, and then they chased him down with the dogs and stuff. They whipped him, they cut his foot off eventually because he kept trying to escape the plantation. Yeah, you got to be like Toby, man. You got to be like Toby. You got to jump that fucking fence, and you got to get out there and take that leap of faith. And that's when you're going to see shit. Then your eyes are going to be open. You're going to have a whole different perspective on life, on the way people do things and how businesses are run, and things are going to start clicking for you. You know, and I thought I was a pretty smart guy back before I was a mobile mechanic, a full-time mobile mechanic. I thought I was pretty sharp. No, man. You know, I had enough courage to get out there and jump and start this. I had enough courage to do that. I said, man, it's now or nothing. I remember saying that. I was standing outside of AutoZone. I said, it's now or nothing. It's now or go get another contract job and go to another city, another state, another, you know, because I did a lot of contracts, environmental. I used to work for the Shaw Group, the IT group. So, so if you know what I'm talking about, you know we'd go to work out there in the field. We're doing contracts, long contracts. You know, we're living nice. We're living very nice. They're taking care of the workers, but I'm putting in 50, 70 hours a week. Taking home good money. You can't spend it because you're working all the time. You're working all the time. All the time. You eat, you go to work, and you go to sleep. And you do it over and over again for 5, 7 days a week sometimes, depending on the project. But, you know, we live nice. We lived in, you know, condos and nice hotels, and, you know, occasionally we get a rat hole, but it's a short project, like 2 weeks. So, you know, you got to suck it up sometimes too, if you want to make that money. But I don't even know how I got on that subject, but there's a lot to say about that too. That little $2,000 a week that I was making, $1,500. Let's make it $1,500. $1,500 a week I was making. That is not shit. That wasn't shit. I pumping, walking around, you know, I wasn't, but walking around with your chest all pumped up because you made $1,500 that week. You remember, you're in your 30s, and, you know, you got a little bit of money. You ain't working at McDonald's. You ain't working at a factory. But that little $1,500 ain't shit once you become self-employed. That ain't gonna be shit. In a few years, after you build up your name and you're not guessing and you're doing good work and you're making a difference out there as a mechanic out in the field, because there's a lot of flack that mobile mechanics get out here. There's a lot of flack. Sometimes people are gonna look down on you, like, man, you know, I don't know what he think he's doing. He think he's a mechanic. Look at his raggedy tools, his raggedy truck, you know, whatever. He looks all nasty, greasy hands. But they don't know that you just made $400 that day. They don't know that. Yeah, I made $400 today compared to your 100. Granted, you might not see a $400 day every day, but you'll still throw rocks at what my point was. You're going to throw rocks once you build your name up. You're going to be throwing rocks at these employers. When you used to punch clocks, when you was a clock puncher, you're going to throw rocks at these employers. Little rocks at first. Man, I made more money than that this week, and I only put in 20 hours. I made $1,500 in 20 hours of work. You feel what I'm saying? You don't want to have to work 40, 50, 60, 70 hours and make $1,500. That's bullshit. You want to make that $1,500 in half the time, a quarter of the time. So, yeah, well, congratulations to all the new mobile mechanics out there that are trying to make this happen. I'll tell you, it's going to change your life. It's going to change your life. I've talked enough for today. It's Hayes Mobile Auto Repair. We're in Ridgeland, Mississippi. Peace.